SOL Topic 4A, Graphing Absolute Value Inequalities by AllysonJ and ParkerD. This is our creative hook. Textbook vocab terms. Absolute value, the distance the number is from zero on a number line. Extraneous solutions, an apparent solution that must be rejected because it does not satisfy the original equation. Example 1. -7 absolute value 2x minus 1 is greater than 0. Because the -7 is on the outside of the absolute value, you have to add it to both sides. Now you must break apart the absolute value. So on the left side, you have a positive 7, which leaves the sign the same. You must add 1 to both sides and then divide by 2, getting the answer of x greater than 4. On the right side, you have to make the 7 negative, which causes the sign to be flipped. Then you add 1 and divide by 2. So the answer is x is less than -3. When graphing, first you put points on -3 and 4. The circles are not filled in because the sign in the original equation was greater than, not greater than or equal to. The arrows are facing out because it is an or statement represented by the greater than sign. This shows how the answers are x is less than -3 and greater than 4. This is our real-world application example. In a class, the average height represented by h of girls is 5 feet, while the actual height of each girl may differ from the average by at most 1 foot. What is the range of heights of the girls?
So because the average was 5, which is h, and it varied by 1 foot, so 4 feet and 6 feet. So the answer has to be in between 4 and 6, which is represented by the 4 and the 6 on the graph. They are filled in because it can be exactly 4 feet, and it can be exactly 6 feet. It can be equal to those numbers, but it can't be greater than or less than, so that's why it's filled in and not filled everywhere else. Next, a high-level assessment question. Which inequality describes the solution set graphed above? You start at answer choice A, and you add 3 to both sides to get x by itself, and you get x is greater than 4. Since that is not a solution graphed on the graph, you can just assume that you don't need to find a solution because the first one isn't correct. Next, you go to B, and you add 5 to both sides, and you get 2x is less than 8. Then you divide by 2 on both sides, and you get x is less than 4. Since that is not a solution graphed on the graph, you can assume you don't need to find a solution. Then you go to C, and you get 4x minus 9 is greater than or equal to 2. You add 9 to both sides, and you get 4x is greater than or equal to 11. You divide by 4 on both sides, and you get x is greater than or equal to 11 over 4, which is in between 2 and 3, and is a correct solution. Then, once you do the inverse of that, you get a number in between 1 and 2, and so that's the correct solution. Next, we have the correct answer and explanation, and the answer choice is C. Now, some creative tips to remember. If your equation has the less than symbol, you can remember it as less than, which means you color in between your two solutions. If your solution, the original solution, is greater than, you just remember it as great or than, and you color outside the two solutions. Now here is a useful visual aid supplied by Allison's sister. You can see the greater than symbol on the left and the less than symbol on the right. So if you just remember these two very helpful visual aids, you'll pass Algebra 2 Trigonometry.